Good morning, children. Welcome to English class. We have come to the last part of the Act 1, Scene 1. Okay, let me ask a few questions from the previous lesson. Okay, at the end of Graciano's speech, what does Graciano advise Antonio? In the end of Graciano's speech, what does he advise Antonio? Do you remember that? Okay. Graciano says that Antonio should not use his melancholy as a bait to gain the fish of reputation. Okay. So here Graciano compares melancholy as a bait with which a fish of reputation can be caught. Okay, this is what Graciano tells Antonio, not to gain or not to try to gain reputation by using melancholy as a bait. Okay, and then the portion where we have stopped, that is Bassanio's speech. Okay, we were halfway through that speech, and Bassanio tells about his school days. And what experience of his school days does Bassanio relate to justify his plan for repaying the loan? Okay, so he told that in his school days he used to engage in the sport of shooting arrows. So he tells that when he was a boy at school, when he lost one of his arrows while shooting, he would shoot another arrow in the same direction. Thus, by risking the second, he often regained both the arrows. Okay, so this is where we stopped. Okay, now this is what he tells about himself. Okay, about the experience in his school days. Okay, so risking the second arrow, he tried to regain the first arrow also. Okay, I oft found both. I urge this childhood proof. Okay, uh, because what follows is pure innocence. So Bassanio tells why he tells about this. Okay, now, or why he mentioned this childhood illustration here now, because what follows is pure innocence, because the reason is that what follows is pure innocent. That means the purpose he has in his mind is innocent. Okay, purely innocent. I owe you much, and like a willful youth, that which I owe is lost. So, say in the previous class, we learned that, and Bassanio used to borrow money from Antonio. Okay, and so we know that he is a spendthrift. Okay, he was spending money extravagantly. Okay, how did he spend the money? Extravagantly. spending lavishly. And he himself told that he was like a, do you remember that word? He was like a prodigal. Okay, and I told you the story of the prodigal son, how he wasted his money and then came back to his father when everything was spent. Okay, Bassanio is a spendthrift, and so he tells that I owe you much, and like a willful youth, that which I owe is lost. So he says that he had borrowed many times from Antonio, so he owes him much. Okay, he owes a, a lot of money. He owes Antonio much, and like a willful youth, that means a self-willed man, that which I owe is lost. Okay, like a self-willed man, he spent extravagantly, and so that is lost. Whatever he has borrowed from Antonio is spent extravagantly or lost. But if you please to shoot another arrow that self way, like the first arrow, okay, like the first arrow, he had lost the money that he had borrowed from Antonio is also lost. So if you please to shoot another arrow that self way, so he wants to shoot the second arrow in the same direction. Okay, so what he wants is that he wants another loan from Antonio. Okay, so that's what he says, to shoot another arrow that self way means in the same direction. Okay, which you did shoot the first. So he wants to get a loan from Antonio. Okay, that means to search for the first. So risking the second, he wants to regain the first as well as the second. So that's what he says, which you did shoot the first. I do not doubt, as I will watch the aim. So he has said that when he shoots the second arrow, now the second time, okay, he is very watchful, or he pays his attention very closely, or he will carefully observe, okay, in which direction the arrow goes, and thus he finds out the first and the second one. So that's why he says here, I do not doubt, as I will watch the aim or to find both. So he will carefully or closely observe and find the both, or bring you latter hazard back again, or bring you latter hazard back again. Sometimes if he is not able to find the first one, okay, if he is not able to find the first one, if, okay, then what he can do, and thankfully rest the debtor for the first. Okay, so if he is not able to bring back the first or pay back the first one, he can at least give the second one. Okay, he'll be able to give the second loan and remain thankful, or remain as a thankful debtor to the first, or for the first one. Okay, this is what he says. So what did you understand from this? Okay, so what Bassanio wants to tell Antonio, okay, he tells in an indirect way. What did you understand from this? Now Bassanio wants a loan from Antonio. He wants to borrow money from Antonio. So he what he says this, that first he had given and he's not able to repay him now. So this is what he does. Bassanio tells Antonio that if he gives him a second loan. So now he's trying to ask a second loan. If he gives him that, he will be so careful that even if he does not recover the lost money, okay, which he had borrowed from Antonio, he will ensure that the second loan, that is the latter hazard, latter means what he is trying to get for the second time, former latter, okay, former opposite latter, former the first one, latter the second one, okay. So he will ensure that the latter one will be returned, and he will remain as Antonio's debtor for the first loan or the original sum. This is what Bassanio tells Antonio. Okay. Then see the next line. Okay. So what does Antonio reply? You know me well, and herein spent but time to wind about my love with circumstance. Okay, so we know that Antonio and Bassanio are very close friends. So see, instead of asking Antonio directly for a loan of money, he just indirectly, okay, or beating around the bush, or indirectly asking. Okay, so that's why Antonio says, you know me well. Okay, so, and herein spend but time. So why did you spend so much time, or why you are wasting so much time? Okay, to wind about my love with circumstance. That means, okay, so appealing to him in an indirect talk. He could have asked him directly for a loan of money, but here what he did was he was talking indirectly. Anyway, he wanted some money. He did not ask him directly. He was, okay, asking that through an indirect talk. That means giving indirect hints. And out of doubt, you do me now more wrong. Okay, so and so he says that without doubt, certainly or surely, okay, surely, what Bassanio does is that he has wronged him, okay, he has wronged him by doubting Antonio. And out of doubt, certainly you do me now more wrong in making question of my uttermost than if you had made waste of all I have. So he says that, okay. So Antonio says that Bassanio had wronged him by doubting his readiness to help Bassanio, even if he had squandered or wasted all that Antonio has or Antonio possesses. So Antonio is ready to give everything that he possesses to Bassanio. Okay. But here he says that he has wronged him by asking him indirectly like this. Okay. Then do but say to me what I should do, that in your knowledge may by me be done. Okay, so now Antonio tells him, now tell me, what should I do for you? Okay, what can I do to help you? This is what Antonio asks Bassanio, and Antonio tells Bassanio to tell what he should do for him, that in your knowledge may by me be done. So what Antonio has to do for Bassanio to help him, and I am pressed unto it, therefore speak. So he says, see, whatever you ask, I am obliged to do it. Okay, so uh, Antonio tells Bassanio just to tell him what Antonio should do. So that's why he says, therefore, speak out. Okay, that's what he tells Bassanio. Bassanio needs to tell him what Antonio should do for him, and Antonio is ever ready to help Bassanio. Now, Bassanio. In Belmont is a lady richly left, as she is fair and fairer than that word of wondrous virtues. Okay. Now Bassanio tells why he needs money. So he tells, in Belmont is a lady richly left. You know, in Belmont there is a lady who is very wealthy, or she has inherited a lot of wealth. And then how is she? And she is fair. When okay, she is fair. Fair means not fair or dark like that, not about the color. Here fair means beautiful. She is very beautiful and fairer than that word. Bassanio remarks that this lady is more beautiful, or beautiful than the word beauty or beautiful. Okay, so that's what Bassanio uh, describes the lady. She is fair, she is beautiful, and fairer than that word, more beautiful than the word beautiful. Okay, and of wondrous virtues, and she possesses wondrous virtues, very beautiful virtues. So she is beautiful, and she has all beautiful or wondrous or wonderful qualities. Sometimes a beautiful person cannot be expected to have, yes, wonderful qualities, but here Bassanio says that she is very beautiful, and she has all wonderful personal qualities. Sometimes from her eyes I did receive fair speechless messages. So he says that sometimes he had received from her eyes what did he receive? Receive fair speechless message. What speechless? Speechless means without talking. Okay, so we can say one word, silent. Receive. He has received beautiful, again fair, beautiful, speechless message. Okay, speechless message, that means without talking, only glances. Okay, so I did receive fair speechless message, that means lovely glances. Okay, silent, from her glances he had received message, silent messages. And then her name is Portia. Now he reveals the name of that lady, that is Portia. Nothing undervalued to Sato's daughter, Brutus Portia. Now, see, don't be confused. You have to listen very carefully these two lines. Her name is Portia. So, the lady that Bassanio wants to see is Portia. Her name is Portia, and she is a very wealthy lady, and she has inherited a lot of wealth from her father. Nothing undervalued to Sato's daughter Brutus Portia. Now, here in the next line, you see another Portia is also referred here. Nothing undervalued. Undervalued means not inferior. Nothing not undervalued, not inferior to Sato's daughter. Not undervalued or not inferior to Sato's daughter. And now, who is Sato? Sato is a Roman scholar and an orator. You know, orator means a person who speaks well, delivers speech. okay, like fire in speech. If you listen to people like that, you won't feel sleepy, or even if you listen that person's speech in the television or radio, uh, see, you will be glued to it. That means very attractive, okay, speech. So a person who delivers speech like that, that person is called an orator. So the Sato is a Roman scholar and an orator. His daughter, he had one daughter, and her name is also Portia. And that Portia is Brutus' wife. Okay, don't be mistaken. Sato's daughter, another Portia. So two Portias are referred here. The first Portia he referred here is the Portia that Bassanio want to go and see. Okay, or he wants to marry that Portia. The second Portia is referred here as Sato's daughter, the Roman scholar's daughter, and she became the wife of Brutus. Okay, and she was the wife of Brutus and Sato's daughter. And see, you might have heard Shakespeare's another play, that is Julius Caesar. And in that play, Julius Caesar, Brutus is the chief character. Okay, and that Brutus' wife is Portia, and that Portia is Sato's daughter. Okay, so why Brutus Portia is referred here means he wants to say that Bassanio wants to say that this Portia is a famous one. Okay, because he was no she was famous because Brutus, he was famous, and Portia was Brutus' wife, and then daughter of Sato, and Sato was also a famous man. He was the scholar and orator. So that's why Bassanio tells that the Portia that he wants to marry is not inferior. Okay, not inferior to this Brutus Portia. That means more or less the same or equal. They both of them are equally famous. Okay, I hope you understood. Don't be confused. Nor is the wide world ignorant of her worth. Nor is the wide world ignorant of her worth. Okay, so indeed she is known, or she is known by, she's not ignorant, and that means the world is not ignorant. That means the world very well knows about her worth. That means she is famous throughout the world. Why? Why it is told here like that? Or why does Bassanio say that this Portia is famous? For the four winds blow in from every coast, renowned suitors, renowned suitors. So why does Portia say like this? Because this Portia is so famous that suitors from all four sides of the world, that means the four winds blow from the four direction. Okay, so from the four directions, who had come to see her? The suitors, renowned suitors, the people who come in search of Portia, or the people who came to marry Portia. Those were the suitors. A person who come to seek the hand of a girl in marriage. That is what a suitor is. Now, renowned suitor means famous. They were all maybe kings, emperors, okay, dukes, renowned suitors. So, Bassanio says that this particular Portia is also famous because many renowned suitors have come from all parts of the world to seek her hand in marriage. And her sunny locks, now he tells about her sunny locks. What do you mean by sunny locks? The beautiful tresses, the beautiful hair, the sunny locks hang on her temples like golden fleece. So the hair that hang on the forehead and the cheeks, okay, that is compared to golden fleece. Okay? The golden fleece or her sunny locks. The sunny, that means here also the hair, okay, her hair shines beautifully. So that's why it is told her sunny locks hang on her temples. Here temples means on her forehead and the lower part. Okay, so it hangs on her temples like a golden fleece. Now there is um, a reference to the Greek legend. Okay, I'll tell you. Hang on her temples like golden fleece, which makes her seat of Belmont, Colco Strand. Okay, now actually fleece. Okay, first you understand what is fleece. Fleece is the crop of hair or wool of a sheep or a ram. Okay, that's what fleece. Now golden fleece. This reference is to the ancient Greek legend, okay? And the golden fleece referred here is the fleece of the uh, famous horse, okay? The horse Chrysomalus, okay? Or ram, okay? The fleece of the winged ram, okay? Called Chrysomalus. And a famous hero, okay, and in the next line it is told hero called Jason. Only he was able to conquer this, or he was able to get this fleece. Okay, he, with the help of his companions, his companions were the Argonauts, and they all went on a dangerous voyage to this Colchos, okay, Colchos Strand. So the on the shore of Colchos. So on an oak tree, this golden fleece was tied, and so Jason, with the help of Argonauts and the help of his wife Medea, okay, Jason was able to take this fleece. Okay, and this fleece, which was tied to the oak tree, it was guarded by a dragon. Okay, so it was very difficult for anyone to reach that place or to get that fleece, but Jason was able to get it. That is the Greek legend. Okay, so hang on her temples like a golden fleece, which makes her seat of Belmont Colco Strand. So here, since many of the suitors were coming to Belmont to see Portia, this Belmont has turned to Colco Strand, just like a lot of people try to get this fleece, golden fleece, okay, and then uh, this Colco Strand, that means this uh, place where this golden fleece was kept, okay, that is Kingdom of Colchos, and many heroes try to get this. So what Bassanio trying to say is that Belmont has become a Colco Strand. That means in Belmont, many suitors came there to see Portia, and many Jasons came in quest of her. So many Jasons here means many suitors came to marry Portia in quest of her. Oh, my Antonio, had I but the means to hold a rival place with one of them, I have a mind presages me such thrift that I should questionless be fortunate. So what he wants to say that, okay, so he says that, oh my Antonio, but I but the means. So he says, Antonio, if I had some resources, okay, to hold a rival place with one of them. So Bassanio also has a plan to go as one of the suitors to marry Portia. So many are coming there. So he also wanted to go to Belmont as one of the suitors. And so he says that I have a mind presages me such thrift that I should questionless be fortunate. So something. So he has a mind that predicts, or something in his heart tells that, okay, he will be, or he will have good luck, or presages me such that, presages here means predicts, okay, predicts that, his mind predicts that he will have a fortune, thrift, or a luck, that I should questionless be fortunate, that doubtlessly or questionless, that means doubtlessly, certainly he will be fortunate. He'll be fortunate means here he'll be lucky enough to marry that rich lady, or he thinks that if he has the resources, or if he has the money, he can go to Belmont as one of the suitors, and he can be one of the competitors, or one of the suitors to marry Portia, and his mind says that he will be lucky. That means he will be able to marry Portia. Now, Antonio, what is Antonio's reply? Thou knowest that all my fortunes are at sea. Neither have I money nor commodity to raise a present sum. So, this is what Antonio replies. So, what does Antonio say? Thou knowest that all my fortunes are at sea. See, Bassanio, you know that all my fortunes, that means whatever I have is vested in the sea. That means in different ships. Thou knowest all my fortunes are at sea. That means he has invested all his money in the different ventures, and this different ships are sailing towards different direction. Neither have I money nor commodity. He doesn't have ready cash nor commodity. Suppose if anybody asks you, or uh, anybody comes to borrow money from you, if, okay, you may say your parents, okay, if they do not have ready cash, sometimes you may help with some gold, okay, ornaments, giving them, okay, telling them, okay, can pawn it and get the money. So here Antonio says that Antonio does not have ready cash nor the commodity, that means the goods with which he can sell and get the money. Neither have I money nor commodity to raise a present sum. So he says that he does not have any things also to buy and get the money. Therefore, go forth. So he gives him, or he suggests Bassanio to do something. What is that? Therefore, go forth. So you go out and try what my credit can in Venice do. So you can go to Venice, okay, the city of Venice, and see that what my credit can do. Okay, so you know that this Antonio is the prince of merchants in Venice. So he can get money in the name of Antonio. So he says that what my credit can do in Venice, that shall be ranked even to the uttermost to furnish thee to Belmont, to fair Portia. So he is ready. Okay, so that means he says that shall be racked. Okay, so that shall be racked even to the uttermost. That means Antonio tells Bassanio to try if he can get any money. Okay, get money or the credit that shall be stretched even to the outer limit, uttermost, to furnish thee to Belmont. So, which can help him to go to Belmont to see the beautiful Portia. Go presently. So that means go. Now it's okay. At once. Go presently. Inquire, and so will I. So he says he should go at once, and then Antonio also, so will I. Antonio also will try to do the same. He will also see if anyone can lend them money, where money is. And I, no question, make to have it of my trust or for my sake. So Antonio promises him that he will also try to get money. Okay. So he says that since he is a rich merchant in Venice, and Bassanio will be able to raise money on his account. Okay, so what Antonio wants to say is that Antonio can be the guarantor, or Antonio asks Bassanio to borrow money from anyone, okay, in his account. This is what Antonio tells Bassanio to do. Okay, so here in the first scene, okay, we have learned that the opening scene accomplishes the task of introducing the plots of the play, the main plots, that is the Bond story and the casket story. See, Bassanio's now request, Bassanio requests Antonio to lend him money. So this lead to the to Antonio, okay, to borrow money from Shylock and his signing a bond. Okay, and then you can see the main characters. Almost all the main characters are introduced in the first scene itself. Even though we do not see Portia here, she is referred here in the first scene itself. Bassanio tells that she is very beautiful and more beautiful than the word beautiful, and she has wondrous qualities. Okay, and compared to Antonio, the difference of the characters. Okay, compared to Antonio, Bassanio is shown as a spendthrift young man. Okay, who lives a life of luxury, and he lives beyond his means, and he always borrows money from Antonio, and now also he wants money. And for what does Bassanio want money? He wants money to go to Belmont as one of the suitors and try to marry Portia. So in order to go to Belmont as a suitor, he needs money. He wants to present himself as a nobleman in Belmont. Okay, so he needs money, then only he will be able to present himself there as a nobleman. So that's why he asked money to Antonio. And now Antonio does not have the ready cash, so he asks Bassanio to borrow from anyone in Venice in his name, or Antonio will be the guarantor. Children, I hope you understood. Okay, please read the passage at home. Okay, and read the right side of the textbook. So in the prose it is given clearly. Read the right side also, surely you will understand. And you can learn the first scene for the exam. Okay, so first scene we have completed, the notes also we have completed. Just go through the textbook and learn the notes also. Okay children, bye.